Hi, my name's Beth Macy, and I'm the author of Truevine. The folks at Little Brown have asked me to give you a little peek behind the curtains on my process, and this is my office. This is my crazy rescue mutt, Mavis, one of two. And this is the series that I wrote for the Roanoke Times with another reporter named Jen McCaffrey back in 2001. It was a 5-day series, and it was a culmination of many years of trying to get the story of George and Willie Muse, two albino African-American young boys who were kidnapped and sold to the circus around 1900. And the story is really about their mother's heroic efforts to win their freedom back and to get justice for her family. The mother was an illiterate maid, which I think makes it all the more remarkable that she was able to not only find her sons, but also to bring a lawsuit against the circus and to stay in the game to make sure that they got justice, because it was denied to them ongoing over many decades at every turn. And she was continually subverting the system to try to get fairness for her family. So this is a book that takes place over 100 or more years, and one of the things I had to do first, just to get my head around it, and this is something I always do, is I do a timeline of the book once I've got enough material and I've figured out how I want to structure it. And it helps me a lot to see it. I have it on my computer, but it also just helps me physically to see where it is on the board. And so I did the same thing with my first book, Factory Man. I basically write it out in an outline form, and then as I'm going, I also write it down again. By the way, this is a wonderful product called Wizard Wall. It's static, clings to the wall, and the office supply nerd in me just was so excited to find out about this product because I could roll it up and take it when I went to work at McDowell Colony, where I finished this book, and I could take it to other places where I was working and still have my timeline right there with me. So these 3 shelves are the books that I used in my research. And the great thing about writing this book now, as opposed to when I first wrote the newspaper series in '01, is that it's so much easier to get used books now. I didn't have to go to a research library to find them, so that I could get this book, which is a memoir of one of the brothers' first show managers, Algie Barnes, in which he brags about buying them and making them, quote, a paying proposition, and it's published in the early 30s. Because their story was never told from their point of view, one of the ways that I was able to piece it together was through photographic evidence. And this is a picture that a collector gave me pretty early in the process, but this is just such a moving picture to me because it shows that here they are being exhibited in a sideshow, and they're clearly children. And while we don't know exactly what year this was taken, we can tell a lot by the way they're dressed. Their suits are too small. They've been wearing them for quite some time. And as I say, they're children. This is my second earliest photo of them, taken probably around 1917. And this is the first time they appear with instruments. And music was a really, really important part of their lives. They weren't just sideshow exhibits. They also were wonderful musicians. And as the family tells the story, the first time they were handed instruments, it was thought to be a joke. They certainly wouldn't be able to play them, but it turned out if you gave them a little bit of time and an instrument, they would figure out how to play it. And music was something that brought them a lot of comfort, and it gave them something to be proud of. So thanks so much for taking this tour and looking at my mishmash behind-the-scenes organization. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy Truevine, and I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback on it.